Ever since our founding fathers built this, now great again country, homeowners have had the right to put GMRS or hams radios antennas on their roof of their home that they own. But did you know that every year, potentially millions of GMRS or hams radio operators are denied that basic human right by their homeowners association? But now, finally, someone is fighting back against these corrupt, power-hungry, out-of-control homeowners associations, also known as HOAs. The ARRL, the nation's largest ham radio dork club, is fighting these HOAs by trying to get a new law passed through Congress that would limit the near limitless powers that HOAs currently have. This new law, if passed, would not allow HOAs to deny a homeowner the right to put a two-way radio antenna on their roof of their house that they own. And because this also affects GMRS users, the ARRL have asked me to help get the word out to let everyone know how to put an end to this inhumane practice. And no, they're not asking for any money. So I had a quick talk with the ARRL's Director of Education and Learning, Steve Goodgame, so he could explain how GMRS users can help put an end to the abusive misuse of HOA power. And this is how it went. Steve, thanks for joining. Tell the boys and girls that are watching who you are and why you're reaching out to the GMRS community for help.
Thanks for having me, Randy. I'm Steve Goodgame, K5ATA. I am the Director of Education and Learning at ARRL. We're reaching out to the GMRS community because we need your help, to be honest with you. There is a bill that we're working on to kind of help us with some HOA restrictions. And the bill that really is intended for amateur radio operators applies to GMRS radio people as well. So it's really an opportunity for the two communities to kind of get together and do some good and kind of confront the HOAs.
So yeah, you know how the GMRS and ham communities do so well together. So tell us about the bill. It's a bill being a potential law, right? You're trying to get a new law passed that does and says what? So
basically the way that things exist now is HOAs have the ability to tell homeowners that they cannot put antennas, and everybody knows about the HOA moms and everything running around and not letting people do stuff on their own property. The problem with this one is, as we know, especially like in Florida and places where they're prone to natural disasters, we're creating these kind of pockets or deserts of areas that people can't have antennas. So if there is cause for some sort of emergency communications response, there are large areas of certain states, and in some cases almost entire states, where there are no external antennas for people to be able to communicate. So what we're trying to do is the Amateur Radio Preparedness Act, and we're trying to make it so that there are exceptions to those rules where the HOA cannot dictate to radio operators, be them GMRS or amateur radio operators, to tell them that they can't have external antennas.
So as it is now, if I live in an HOA, if I wanted to put up, I'm guessing the rules are probably so that people don't put up the big crazy looking giant ham radio antennas. But even if I were to put up a little dipole PVC pipe on top of my roof of the house that I own, that I paid for, the HOA could potentially say, no, you can't even do that because it's against the rules.
Yeah, and right? It's not even potentially. I mean, HOAs do it all over the country now. And that's exactly what we're talking about. I'm not talking about, putting up a 100-foot tower with, stacks of antennas on top. But just like you said, I'm talking about somebody like you or me who might just want to put, like you said, a wire or a little J-pole antenna or something strapped to your chimney so that I can communicate, 10, 15, 20 miles away if I need to. They're practical antennas. I'm not talking contesting or any huge things like that.
So as it is now, if I have a TV antenna, that's allowed, right? Because sometime in the past, HOAs tried to not allow TV antennas or any antennas on the roof, but somebody got a law passed or did something to say, no, they can't do that. So I could put a big giant, if I'm in an HOA, I could put a big giant stupid looking TV antenna on the roof, and that's okay. They can't tell me that I can't do that. But the simple little dipole for two-way radio communication, emergency communication or whatever, right now they can deny that if they wanted to, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So HOAs are doing this all over the country now. I mean, like I said, there are some states that there are almost no housing options that aren't in an HOA. So yeah, you can put the biggest, ugliest, gaudiest satellite dish or antenna on your roof to watch over-the-air TV, but you can't put just a simple piece of wire that honestly most people wouldn't even see and to be able to have, simple radio communications.
And as you just said, there's some areas where no matter what, you almost have to buy a home in an HOA, either because of that's just the way it is in the area, or maybe the homes that don't have HOAs are more expensive. You just can't afford it. You got to buy what you can afford. So this affects millions of people. How many people are in the steel grips of HOAs now? Do you know?
Oh yeah, it's definitely millions of people. And like you said, there are parts of the country where it used to be the norm that you bought a house and it wasn't in an HOA, and now it's the opposite. It's you buy a house and the odds are you're in an HOA, and so you're subject to whatever rules they want to put upon you, as well as whatever fees they want to charge you to tell you what you can't do.
Or as well as any new rules that they decide to come up with after you move in. See, Josh and I, Ham Radio Crash Course guy, we talked about this a little bit together a few weeks ago, and a lot of people in the comments, a lot of people left comments saying, just don't buy an HOA home. Just, go buy somewhere else. And they seem to forget that, sometimes you just don't have a choice. And maybe you buy in and you read the rules when you buy the house, and they're not that bad. And then the day after you move in, they decide that they don't like the color of your house, so they pass a new rule. And basically they can do whatever they want.
Right now, once you're in their clutches, you're theirs. And so, yeah, I mean, they're usually run by, a small board of people in the neighborhood that
power-hungry, pedantic Karens. Is that how they are generally described?
That's an accurate description, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this law is nothing major. It's just saying an exception, or just saying that an HOA can't deny you the right to put a two-way antenna on your roof. And you need our help. So tell us what you need the GMRS community to do. What do I need to command my minions to do for us?
So it's really simple. We developed a website where just by putting in, for the ham radio side, just by putting in their ham radio call sign, it generates letters that go to your congressional senators and representatives. We've done the same thing for the GMRS community. If you go to ARRL.org/HOA, you'll see a button on that page that says for GMRS users, and it's just going to bring up a little form. All you need to do is, if you put your GMRS call sign in there, it'll automatically populate all the other information on there for you. And we're actually printing every single one of these letters and taking them to your representatives. So we're printing the letters, sorting them, and taking them to your representatives in Washington when they decide to open back up. And we're delivering them. We live in a time where so many elections are pretty darn close to 50-50. This is a huge, or potentially a huge number of votes that, they don't really want to make that many people mad. So when they get, 1,500, 2,000, letters on their desk, that's a significant number of votes. So we're trying to make an impact by showing them, if you vote or if you don't support this, then don't expect a vote out of these people.
You're not asking for any money. It takes 30 seconds or less to do, right? You just type in your call sign. It already gives the address. And you need the address, I assume, not for you to start sending emails to them, but because you need to know what congressman or senator or whatever to hand deliver that letter to, which is what you guys are going to do. Is that right?
Exactly. We're not the email field on the bottom usually doesn't autofill unless it's on whatever database, and that's optional. You don't have to fill that in. So, basically, like you said, it auto-populates your address and it tells you which representatives and senators the letters are going to. and there's like a red button off to the right that says send my letters. You hit that button and boom, that's it. It generates it, and it goes into the database for us to print.
Okay, and then you hand deliver it. When are you going to do that? Like, is there a deadline?
So the sooner the better. The way Washington works. I mean, we have a little bit of time right now because who knows when they're going to go back to work. But with them, you don't ever know exactly when these things are going to come up. So the sooner the better. We're printing these things and delivering them nonstop. There are some of them that we're hoping to take a hand truck full of letters into.
It's very simple to do. Doesn't cost us anything. 30 seconds or less, probably less than that.
Oh, yeah, 10 seconds.
Okay. All right. So there's no reason to not do it. So let's see if we can get the GMRS community together and have everybody go out there and take a moment out of their life to do this. And I guess everybody that does it, leave a comment in the comments below to let us know that you let your voice be heard. All right, Steve, thanks for joining. And hopefully we'll get an update soon or at some point to see how the law is going. So thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.